After we have successfully installed our virtual device manager and a virtual device, we can now access that virtual device through Android Studio. For that, let's open the Android Studio, and in this welcome page we get more actions. If we click virtual device manager, from here we can see all of the created virtual device if you have one, or we can create our new virtual device using create device button here. Okay, here we have already created our virtual device Pixel 4 API 30, and it is taking 9.2 GB space on a disk. Let's start this virtual device. If I click the launch button here, I'm getting starting AVD. Okay, now here if you see that this is our virtual device. In this virtual device, now we can install our created application here, and we can test our application. We can also access the Play Store here as well. We can sign in and download any of the other applications from the Play Store as well. So after we have opened this virtual device, now let's go to the created project and let's run that project in this virtual device. Now in order to run our Flutter projects, we have already created our two Flutter project, one from the command line tool and another from the VS Code. Okay, now let's open the VS Code and navigate to that newly created project through file and open folder. In the open folder, I am into the Flutter projects directory, and I have two different applications. I'll just open one application, Flutter underscore application underscore 1, and let's select the folder. Here I can see Flutter underscore application underscore 1. This project has been opened in our Visual Studio Code. Here we can see different files and folders listed. All of these files and folders have their own importance, and we'll talk about that later on. Right now, let's go and run this newly created project. In order to run the project, you can just go to the run menu, and in the run menu you can see run without debugging. You can just click Ctrl plus F5 directly from the keyboard as well, and if you click on this menu, now we can see the project is currently being built, and after the build completes, the project will be installed in our virtual device here, and we can access that project. Let's wait until the build gets completed. After the code completes the building of the application, it gets installed in our virtual device, and after the installation it will automatically run that application. And this is our current app, which is our default application when we have created new Flutter project. So in this application we can see there are different components available. We will discuss all of these components later in our video. Right now, let's discuss about one of the cool feature of Flutter, and that feature is known as hot reload. That means if we do any changes in a particular file, for example, now the color here, it is a deep purple color, and it is reflected because of the seed color that we have provided here, deep purple color. Okay, now if I want to change this from deep purple to green, suppose, okay, I've changed from deep purple to green, and in order to reflect these changes code in our mobile application in a virtual machine, we can easily do that by just using a hot reload. And there are two methods to initiate a hot reload. The first one is by clicking on this option here, and it is hot reload option, and the other one is by saving this file. if we save this file by using Ctrl+S from the keyboard, then we can see it will be automatically reflected in our mobile application. Here the green has been automatically reflected in our mobile app. So this is a cool feature. By using this feature, we can get instant result from the code. We do not need to review our applications. Okay, and the next method in order to run the application is by using a terminal. Let's stop this execution by using stop button here, and after I click the stop button, and you can see the application has been closed, and now you can see here is an icon, and this is our application that we have currently installed by using or by running this code here. Okay, here you can see Flutter underscore application underscore 1. This is the name of the application, and this name, we have provided this name while creating our Flutter project in our last video. Okay, now I will just uninstall this application. Okay, and I don't have the application installed in my virtual device anymore. So I am trying to provide another step or another method to run the Flutter application. And in order to run the Flutter application, you can just see here is a terminal, and if you don't see terminal, there is a method to open the terminal here, and if you place the cursor here, you can just drag this upside, and you can see here there is a terminal option here. Otherwise, you can also open that terminal by using the menu button on the top and by clicking new terminal. Okay, and if you click terminal, here it is a terminal, and in this terminal we can write all of the commands here. And let's run this Flutter application by using a command, and for that we have a command called Flutter space run. And if I type this command and enter here, now it will launch our application. Okay, and we can see the application has been already launched here. So let's revert back from green to deep purple, and if I click on the save, it will be automatically reflected here. Right now I haven't clicked save. Let's do Ctrl+S, and I can see it will get reflected here. And for the Flutter run key commands, the hot reload will be only initiated whenever we type R in this command. So whenever I type R, so I don't see anything option menu on the top of the bar while I run from the terminal using a Flutter run. And for this, the only way to initiate a hot reload is by typing a small r here. So if I type small r here, let's see, it has not been reflected yet. And if I type small r here, okay, I can see the code has been reflected and the color has been changed to deep purple color here. So keep in mind that while we run from the menu here using run without debugging, hot reload will get initiated whenever I type or whenever I save the file using Ctrl+S. But whenever I run the Flutter applications using a terminal command called Flutter run, and at the time the only option to initiate hot reload is by typing R here. Okay, and if I type capital R here, now it will restart our application. So let's type capital R here, and I can see the application is get restarted. Okay, and after the restart, the application has again been open here. Okay, there are other commands here as well, such as H to list all available interactive environment commands, and D to detach, C to clear the screen, and Q to quit this terminal. Okay, now I think let's detach or let's quit this. Okay, if I press Q, now we can see the code is no more linked with the Flutter application here. So this is the method to run the Flutter applications, and in the next video we will talk about the in-depth analysis of all of these generated files here. Now let's talk about main.dat file available inside our lib directory, and this main.dat file is an entry file for any Flutter application. So this file has a function called main function. We have already discussed in our previous videos that in any Dart programming language, main function acts as an entry point or entry function. So here this is entry function or entry point to run our application. Okay, in Flutter application development we use Dart programming language. That's why this file main.dat has a .dart extension, and we can write Dart language here. We can write Dart programming language inside this file. So whenever I run application, the first thing that it will execute is this main function. So let's go and print this is main function. Now we have already discussed that print function will display this is our main function in our console. So whenever I save this file and run this application in our mobile, then we can see now it is installing, and we can see that it has been already installed. So we can see this is main function printed in our console, and in order to see that printed in our console we have to open the console from here. And to open the console, just go to new terminal. You can see there is a option called debug console, and in a debug console option you can see this is a main function being printed. Okay, remember that this print function will only print our code in a console, not in a actual mobile device. We can see there is a problem, and it is saying that don't invoke print in production mode, and it is not recommended to write this print function while building our application, because this print function will get print in our console and it will take some memory and time to print this or to run this code. So it is not recommended to write this print function. So I'll just remove that. That is only for the testing purpose, to show you that main function is our initial function. Okay, and this saving, I'm just saving the code. Okay, inside the main function you can see there is a run app, and run app is a function, and if you keep your mouse in run app and hover at that function, you can see description of that function. Okay, and currently the run app will inflate the given widget and attach it to the screen. Now what it is doing is, now it is attaching this page here. My app is a class, okay, and this class is a widget. We'll discuss widget later. Everything that we see on our mobile application is a widget, and the function of a run app is to attach any widget in our screen. So right now it is attaching my app widget. So what is this my app contains is, my app contains all of these information. The text, Flutter demo homepage, the background color, this text and this button, all of these is included in our my app class. And run application, run app, this function will attach this widget in our screen. That's why we are seeing this screen here. Okay, now we'll talk about the widget later in our video. Let's remove all of this code from here. Okay, I've removed all of this code from here, and that's why I don't see my app here as well. So I'll remove this my app as well. If you remove the my app, then we can see there's an error. Here we have to provide one parameter, and the parameter should be always widget. In Flutter application, we have a lot of available widgets. So let's use one of the widgets available here. That is called text widget, TEXT text widget. And if you type text, you'll see text that is being reflected here. If you click on the text, we can see we have to provide one parameter inside the text, and that is called a data, and the data type of the data here is a string. So text now is a widget, or I can say text is a class. So now we are creating an object of the class called text. While creating the object of any class, we have to provide a parameters, because text has a constructor, parameterized constructor, and whenever I hover there, I can see the constructor here. The text constructor has parameters called data at the first, which has a data type called string, and it also has a key data type which is on optional. Optional means either we can provide the value, or if we don't provide the value, it will automatically take a value called null. For the style as well, there's a text style which is also optional. So from here I can see that all of the parameters here are optional except the data. So we have to provide data while we initiate text object. So the data will be string, so I will provide a string called hello world. If I save this using a control plus s statement, I can see that I'm getting an error, because lookup failed title in getters, in home page, in package this I'm getting an error, and let's discuss about this error in our next video.